Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the morning debrief. It's the just on 8 o'clock, and it's the 16th of the 2nd, the 16th, it's Wednesday. And what a night last night. Quite interesting across the board. Major features, I think, were we had retail sales in the States. Well, that was a positive number. It was not what the market was looking for. They were looking more of an aggressive number. In fact, it's the lowest number since June last year. And that sort of started to question this recovery. And it's a theme which runs through the morning debriefs and also the Twitters. Is the recovery all about the Fed and its spending programs and the fact that their spending programs are designed to get the economy going up, because get the economy strengthening? Because that's what we start to feel it is. We're suffering from a cost-push inflationary environment. In America, we're also suffering, more importantly, I suppose, in the UK, where inflation rates are about 2 percentage points above the targeted rate from the BOE. So there's quite a lot to think about at the moment. With this inflationary environment, what do you do? It is a very hard scenario to answer, and it's also what the correct policy is, a policy mix as well. Remember, we have a demand-pull inflationary environment in the east, a cost-push in the west. These sorts of things, trying to combine to get economic global growth together, I think is going to be a very, very tough thing. As it stands, though, I guess from that type of inflationary numbers, the retail sales, although we're lower, we're actually encouraging if you think about it from an inflationary point of view. From a recovery point of view, it's not that positive. As a result of that, the market actually did correct a little bit. So let's just have a look as to what did happen there. There we go, just coming up. Oops. Alrighty-ho. Now you can see that the Dow closing down 52 points, 12,215. The S&P was down 5. The Nasdaq was down 15. The top 50 was up 12. FTSE down 23. Obviously, concerns about interest rate movement there certainly playing into investors' hands. The CAC was up 13. The DAX was up 3, and the IBEX was up 51. The local market closed down only a fraction there, down 10 points, 4,905. So as you can see, quite a little bit of interesting news on all of that, and I think let's have a look at some of the currencies. The equity market seems to certainly be under a little bit of pressure there. Let's just change that to that. Okay, just to make it clearer, dollar index holding this pattern quite nicely. Expectations still remain pretty positive that the dollar will continue to firm, and 78.70, and you can just feel that that's the case. We're certainly long dollars at the moment and expect that to continue. Having a look at the Aussie, for instance, Aussie 99.50, and as you can see, it's broken through this level here, which is pretty major for us. That's a 99.65. So have a look at the daily chart here, because the daily chart does suggest that if we don't hold, we're going lower. And there's this little trend line here, which just try and draw in. Yeah, let's just get that out. I've just been a little bit temperamental this morning. I've got that right. Let's just try and do it. If we can't do it, we'll move on. But you can get a good feeling that. Why is that temperamental today? Anyway, it's a little bit temperamental. You get a big feeling that if we take these areas of support, then we come back down to here, the lower end of that, and that sort of rests around that 98, and also a much larger correction, which could see it down to 90. So stochastics are certainly over the top. So if anything there, I'd probably suggest that a correction is underway. Let's just see if it can break that trend line. And if it breaks that trend, then so be it, and then down she goes. Okay, I had a strong move also on the dollar yen, 83.82, and obviously dollar is strengthening against the yen, looking quite strong. Needed to take out that top side at 84.20, 84.30, and then we'll see it up to 86.88. So that's a trade we've been recommending for some time, and continue to support it. Okay, on to the commodities now. Crude oil not doing too well, 84.31. There's been quite a large correction to the downside. We have taken out that low there, and I think that low of 85.11, just be careful on that. Still sort of feel that there's a bit of support there, but certainly in corrective mode, there's no doubt about it. Let's stay close to see what happens in Iran. That seems to be, the problems there seem to be a bit squashed, so that's okay. But as we see, we've got supply, more supply out of Cushing. So as a result of that, obviously crude remains under pressure. Copper also came back, 452. Pretty much came back on the back of expectations that's happened in inflation data. out of China yesterday, although it was high, not as high as what people expected, but just be guided by a break. If you are trading copper, break through that low there at the 448, because that could see quite a large move to the downside, and something that I think could occur. The other thing is gold did what it wanted to do, and it's reached our target. 1375 was the target we have had, and we have had it for about 2-3 weeks. It's reached that, so people can move their stops up if they want to. Yeah, just below that trend there at 1355 or whatever. I think a lot of people are in around that level, and a lot of people also back in around about that 1330 area since we mentioned. So if anything there, still looks set to continue to trade higher. But now pretty much people, you're on your own. Let's reach the target there, so let's see what happens. Okay, now just moving, we mentioned that, gold, silver all look good. Local markets, a little bit of a dodgy opening today, I think, down fraction, nothing too much, but certainly there's a lot of feeling out there that there could be a little bit of a correction. We did get a signal last night for one of our trading systems, but because the market was weak at 11 o'clock, we didn't execute, so that might hold to be the correct thing to do. Okay, so that's about it on that front. Big moves in the grains, and basically all under a little bit of pressure there, and that's due to some rains coming through, and also a little bit of pressure there on the fact that China is doing the right things in terms of slowing things down. And that's what we've taken now out of their data yesterday. Okay, now Wednesday economic numbers, new motor vehicle registrations in Australia and the euro. Important data there in jobless and the count rate too, because that'll give us a clue as to what's happening in terms of that inflation. Big problems there, I think, at the moment. On the UK, leading indicators in Canada, in the US, most important building starts, permits, producer prices, capacity utilisation, IP, and the Fed releases its 25th, 26th FOMC meeting results. So that in itself, I think, is something to be interested in. So pretty much, that's pretty much about it, I think. And I think just in summary, stick to the long US dollar trades, stick to gold if you want to. You can take profit, it's great profits if you want to take it. Oil remains relatively weak, but it is getting close to the lower end of its range, so it's a bit hard putting those trades on. And copper, keep an eye on copper, because I think that 449, 448 break could see a long market start to capitulate. So just keep an eye on that one, because I think that could be a reasonable trade, particularly when we are going through this adjustment on interest rates and see what China's actually doing. We did get great data out of China 2 days ago, but the recent data's probably suggesting otherwise. So that's about it from me. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll certainly talk tomorrow, and bye for now.